Hey, how are you? Trying something new today. You're going to have to let me know what you think. Tried a new location. Tried phone versus computer. Tried different lighting. So I'm anticipating that I will have some experts share with me what they think about this new location. Now, you know that if I have a new location, I also have new boots, and you probably have already seen them on Facebook, but if not, maybe you can see them here. This is as close as you're going to get, or check Facebook. Let me just tell you that we also, Jesse said, yeah, that whole thing about you and asking people for their emails, that's a great way, but kind of a little bit chaotic, and could we do something different? So she was so good as to make for Join Jeannie, she created a Google Doc, which I think that's what all business people really do. So maybe you'll pop on and you'll fill out that Google Doc, and I will be sharing maybe some words with you on that after you are officially you've joined Jeannie. Okay. With charisma, words matter. You know what? I kind of want to tell you a story. And it happened. The story was told to me. It was on a Facebook private message. And a person wrote me this little note. She said, I know you don't know who I am, but we were at this event, and I want to share with you what happened. And it was about 2 years ago. And she said, we got on an elevator, my friends and I. We were going to, it was a big event. A lot of training was going on. And she said, we're on there, and one of the friends looked at her watch and said, we're going to be late for our class. And somebody else said, oh, it's all right. We'll just kind of, we'll go in late. We'll sit in the back. She said, you were standing in front of us facing the elevator door. And you said, if it were my class, I would have liked for you to be on time. It was kind of quiet. She said, the elevator doors opened. I never turned around. I just walked out. I do kind of remember, and it is probably, and I might have even said it a little bit differently than that, but I do believe that I did say it. The interesting thing about that is words matter. Not only did she remember those words, she said, I remembered them because I thought to myself, we need to respect people's time. We need to respect people who have spent the time getting ready for us. And the fact that she remembered that so long and thought to share that with me. So not only did my words matter, but I think she understood when I was saying that I'd spent a lot of time, if I were the teacher, if I was doing the training, creating words that I hoped would matter to the people who came in on time and stayed the whole time and sat in the front, right? And were interested. So with that thought of words matter, I want to tie that in with charisma, because the impact of what charisma is, part of it is the words, obviously. We talked about scintillating. We talked about what is it. We talked about personal magnetism. We talked about how you have a presence when you come into a room. You have an energy that emanates from you, and that all has to do with charisma. What of that has impacted you? Has it changed you in any way? Have you thought about this when you speak, when you're going to speak? Do you believe me when I say that charisma can be learned? And do you understand it's a process? It's not instant, but you have to want it to make something happen. You remember that I said, are you doing something? I guess that's what I'm asking. Are you doing something different? You'll let me know. I know you will. the 2 to 7 seconds where you make an impact. We talked about that visually, whether it's live or it's on Zoom. But also we talked about warmth and competence, that when people see you and when they hear you, do you portray warmth, which means, do people trust you? Do they feel they can trust you? Do they feel calm? Do they feel that you are somebody that they can relate to? Do you convey competence? Do they think you're smart? Do they think you're responsible? Do they think you're of importance, that they should listen to you? So those two things can come, of course, with your words. And if words matter, then you need to learn about priming. Priming is a psychological phenomenon that conveys feelings, and it conveys rapport, and it does it with words. Okay, so let's talk about, there's positive priming and there's negative priming. So how good are you going to be? Positive or negative priming? Let me give you an example. Because sometimes the first interaction that we have with people really could be on a Zoom call. It could be on a Zoom call, but we have to get people to come to the Zoom call, and so we have to email them. So let me read you an email. You're imagining, you're sending, you're in business. We're all set for the meeting next week. I'll probably, I'll prepare an overview and sample proposal for you, then we can review them. Let me know if you have any questions. Says everything, concise, gets the point across. Works. How about this one? I'm looking forward to collaborating next week. I'll prepare a goal worksheet and overview of desired outcomes for both of us. We can work through everything together. Happy to answer any questions. Do you realize that that second email had one more word than the first? Could you agree with me that words matter? Here are the words, both warm and competent. Looking forward, collaborating, goal, desired outcomes, together, happy. Words that are both warmth, competence, make a difference, made an impact. Charisma is the whole ball game. It's from the first interaction, and if that first interaction comes with you writing something to someone, you don't have to do this for every single email. I'm not saying that. But what if you just started to incorporate these words easily into the emails that you used? And what if you specifically, when you had somebody you really wanted to make an impression, that email was one that you thought about, the words that you gave. Let's now talk about priming on Zoom calls. We all do them. Some of us are in charge. Some of us are recipients of just participating in. But think about how so many Zoom calls you've been on. They have to be starting the way I do. It's like, can you hear me? Hey, can you see me? The connection has been so bad. You know, the weather, it's been so bad. Oh my gosh, the ice storms, no power. Okay, just to say, do you hear a little bit of negativity? Can you see how that's a downward spiral? Can you see how if your Zoom calls start this way, the negative beginning to something, how can that be how can you expect to have great results when your Zoom calls start that way? And I'm exaggerating, obviously, but I've had some that start that way. Let's talk about a warm one, where you use warm words, where it's like, hey, happy to see you. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you got to join us. Hey, I love that smile. You look so good in red. Great, oh my gosh, great opportunity today. You know, I've been working on the agenda. I can't wait to share. We just got a few more people to pop on, and I cannot wait to get started. Tell me, isn't that different to think about that? So if we think about priming words on Zoom, and if words matter, warmth and competence, let's think, where do you rank? Do you think that you are more warm, more competent? Are you in the middle and you're strong? Because I want you to do this for me. This is your assignment. When we get off the call, I want you to go back and find your last 10 emails and that you've sent to people, and I want you to count how many warm words there are, and I want you to count how many competent words there are, and I want you to put those, you'll have to put those in your replies to me, in your comments to me when you're filling out that sheet with all your information. And if there are none of those words, I hate to say it, but you might be having kind of stale emails. And you might want to consider the power, because words matter. So if you're serious about charisma and words matter, if you want to go full circle, and if you really want to master this, we've got to start on all of these components. Do you believe me on that? And I'm so curious about what really resonated with you. Not just today, but I'd love to hear that. I want to know that. I want to know what resonates with you, what sticks with you, because what words do I have or have I shared with you that mattered? That's what I think that's more powerful to me, more important to me than anything, because my desire is to provoke you to be better, to do more, to be more. Hey, I'm trying this shorter little version. And today, I hope you agree with me that words, oh my gosh, they matter. I can't wait to read some of yours. Thanks. Thanks for listening.